Hey, all you crypto boomers. It's Bud Fox. I'm here with you on my own without my good friends Paul and George. My job today is just to go through and give you a little bit of history about Bitcoin and try to protect you from the one piece of advice that I think will really help you out. So if you're a crypto boomer, if you're just getting into this space, if you're a veteran, this is going to be an important episode just simply because I'm going to share with you a mistake that I made in crypto, especially in Bitcoin, and I'm encouraging you not to make that same mistake. And I want to get the point home. And let me give you the conclusion of the moral of this story before I even start. And the moral is that Bitcoin is a store of value. It's the most incredible store of value we have probably had in a generation, or even you could say a millennia. Bitcoin is becoming a gold standard, and a very good book to read is the Bitcoin Standard, which certainly when I read that, it gave me a very good understanding of what Bitcoin is. But I've been on a journey to understand Bitcoin, and I'm sure that you crypto boomers are going through your own journey to understand Bitcoin as well. So I wanted to take you through a story, and I wanted to show you my wallet as well, just to kind of hit this home. My advice to you, even though this is, entertainment purposes only, but I am encouraging you to really take Bitcoin seriously as a store of value. And you may find it novel to send money through the network, the protocol, but please don't. Look and listen to my story to try and help you understand. Now, I am going to go through my old wallet, and from the outset, you'll see that the wallet is on a phone. Again, do not put Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency on your phone. There are devices that now I am a massive fan of, and I use Ledger, and I use so the Ledger X actually is my favorite. The Ledger X is the one that can actually store a lot of different cryptos on, but also Trezor. I really like Trezor for Bitcoin and Ethereum. My main two ones I like to use Trezor, but either of those two, just get them on a hardware device. I am not sponsored by either of those two companies. I just have seen too many horror stories from people on that have Bitcoin on their phone. Now, I've always got on okay with my phone, but again, it's just now with the new technology, it's best to have your Bitcoin stored privately on a hardware wallet. So yeah, I'm talking to you on a day that Bitcoin is $55,252. 55,252. Look at this growth you can see on the chart. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to talk to you about a period of when I first got into Bitcoin, which is around here, 2015. So it's way down in the chart. In fact, let me just point to where I am drawing or referring to. So around this time frame, I started to learn a little bit about Bitcoin. And like most people, I had absolutely no understanding of Bitcoin, but also I now realize I had no understanding of money. It's something that we're really not taught about at school. Where's money come from? What do the central banks do? Etc., etc. So Bitcoin really does take you on a journey. But let me go back through my story and let me bring up some of my old wallets to have a bit of fun with you guys. And so here's this particular wallet. It's called the Bread Wallet, and there's nothing in this now. I don't use this anymore, but you can see if I zoom in here. Let me just make sure that you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, good. Okay, so you can see this is my first ever introduction to Bitcoin on the 1st of July 2015. And that looks like a mighty number. Now, this is in pounds because you can tell from my accent, I am over the pond in the UK. But my first introduction to Bitcoin was in July of 2015, and that is roughly in dollar amount, given that the dollar is the world reserve currency. So let's give the dollar amount. $162,000. $162,000. That was my initial investment. And the story there is I met a guy online who I was trying to learn about Bitcoin and Bitcoin ATMs, and I had no idea of where to get one. I really didn't like the idea of going down a dark alleyway and actually swapping cash for Bitcoin. And so I trusted an old friend of mine who was setting up one of the first ATMs in the UK, and he said, "Look, just send me $750, 500 pounds, $750 to my bank account. Here's my bank account details, and then one day, when the money hits, I will send you Bitcoin." So, of course, I sent the money across, and just thought, well, that's the end of my money then. But then a day later, this $750 hits my account. That's this day here, the 1st of July 2015. Now, the values here you can see are in today's Bitcoin value. So unbeknown to me back in that day, that particular money was going to become worth $162,000. So from $750 to $162,000. Now that would be a wonderful story if it ended there. But what did I do? What mistake did I make that I am trying to encourage you not to do? I made the mistake of spending it. Now, the reason I do like this story because it did get me into Bitcoin, and without going through this experience, I wouldn't have a very admirable portfolio right now. And so I do appreciate having to go through this life lesson. But this particular story starts then with the reason I got into Bitcoin is that I was going away for a couple of months with my family over to Bali. And so I wanted to try to avoid the idea of spending exchange rates on the currency and going through all the banking system and that. And so what I decided to do, I thought Bitcoin was a little bit like PayPal. I thought of it as, we hear the peer cash network. And I just thought of it as a payment system, a bit like PayPal, So it's, and then I heard that they're quite advanced in the island of Bali, that tourists are paying in Bitcoin because of the digital nomad scene. And I was planning to go over there and do a little bit of work on the computer and stuff. And so here is the airport of Bali. And I arrived in 2015, walking through with my phone with 3 Bitcoin on there, roughly. And now, what I should have done, and what you realize from as I go through this story, is I should have kept on to those like they were gold. I should have kept on to that like my little precious, and the Lord of the Rings. That should have been the most valuable thing that I was holding. And of course, I had no idea what Bitcoin was. So the first thing I did, as you can see on the wallet, let's bring the wallet back up, is there's a payment there for £3,800, roughly about $5,000. That $5,000 in today's money was spending one day here at this place called Hubbard, and it's a little digital nomadic office, and I got to spend some time in there working, getting the internet. I think it cost in the region of about $20 or something. But had I not spent Bitcoin, I would have had a nice big payout waiting for me today. So the next expenditure, if you can see, is this is £2,055. Can you see £2,055? And that is currently in the region of just under $3,000. And that was spent on a cocktail, just a little cocktail at this place here called The Onion in Ubud. And you could buy in Bitcoin. So I'd take my phone I'd know the staff very well, and I say, hey, can I buy Bitcoin? Can I buy that cocktail in Bitcoin? And of course, they would go through the process, and it was so novel. I really had a lot of fun paying in Bitcoin. And what I'm thrilled about is that, and I do hope that I haven't been back there for a few years, but I do hope that this place has kept the Bitcoin, because of course it's worth a lot of money nowadays, for all those cocktails they were selling me. I was one of the few people, I think, actually using Bitcoin at that time. That the business owners weren't particularly too fond of it. I'm sure that one or two of the business owners I'd met using it said, look, I want to get this into cash straight away. So, but anyway, and I think actually there was a bit of a government crackdown on it in 2017. But yeah, that's a very, very expensive cocktail in today's terms. Let's carry on, and you can see that there's a outgoing here of 4,588. That's about $6,300 in today's terms. Now, you can ask yourself, what did this buy me? What did I stupidly spend my money on that I should have saved? Well, it was spent on a green tea and a bowl of brown rice at this place called Kismet. A very nice view. Certainly a lovely cup of green tea and a very nice bowl of brown rice. But is it worth $6,300 in today's money? Probably not. I'd have been better off buying or saving my Bitcoin. So this, it starts to get a little bit more expensive. Let me go on to the next page. And I think in here somewhere is a bigger. Yeah, here we go. This one here. Now, I had gone back to Bali the following year in 2016. And the one thing that I regret now, speaking to you, and I don't want you to regret this in your 5-6 year period with Bitcoin, is I regret looking at my wallet and thinking, oh, that money now I have in that PayPal type Bitcoin thing is now gone up, and I've got more than my original amount I put in. So I've got more to spend. Let's spend it. And so in 2016, you can see here, £12,000. I think that was for this really beautiful meal, pizza, stuff like that. But wow, I mean, that's roughly $17,000 in today's money. So very, very, very expensive. Don't be doing what I did, guys. Don't be looking back in 6 years of holding Bitcoin and thinking, wow, I should have kept hold of Bitcoin. I really should have kept hold of Bitcoin, used it as a store of value. Now, I don't have this transaction on this particular wallet. I did have another transaction. This is the one that I didn't look at, and I have done a past episode on this. This is Bali Bohemia, a beautiful hotel next to the monkey forest in Ubud in Bali. They were taking Bitcoin, and I decided to spend my Bitcoin on a few weeks stay. Now that is worth, I want you to do the maths on that and work out exactly how much that probably is. But I know that, man, I should have kept that Bitcoin. I should have treated it with respect as a store of value, as something that goes up over time, hold it for the long term. So as we conclude, what I want to stress to you as a crypto boomer is that look at this growth, and where will we be in 6 years' time? Who knows? I mean, did I ever imagine that it would be up here? No, I didn't know Bitcoin could be charted. I didn't know Bitcoin was an asset. I learned in the euphoric years of 2017, and I have studied and studied and studied all through this period here, learning about Bitcoin, getting excited about Bitcoin, getting depressed about Bitcoin. But ultimately, I am glad that I went through my education here at the Bitcoin Academy, and I've really appreciated the education I've got, because it's taught me pretty much what Bitcoin stands for, and that it is an asset class to be looked after and to be held, and certainly not used as a payment mechanism, because, well, you've seen my story, you've heard my story now, you know what to avoid. So hold on to your Bitcoin, do trade it if you need to, but don't spend it on pizzas, don't spend it on brown rice, don't spend it on cocktails, don't spend it on a day working out of an office, don't spend it at all. Put it on a ledger, a Trezor, and hold on to it. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Crypto Boomers. I hope you enjoyed it. More again soon. Bye for now.